Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mastering Mental Wellness. As you can hear, I'm a lot worse in my voice. Isaac's going to do most of the talking today.
We hope.
We hope. Yeah. Hi, Rose. Um,
Hi, Rose.
Today, we're talking about holiday blues and how do we
Yes.
deal with them.
Yes.
We are at the very start of the silly season, as I like to
Mhm.
call it, because people start getting flipping crazy this time of year. You got Halloween crap in one aisle, and then you go to the next aisle, and you've already got Christmas stuff up, and then there might be a shelf or two with Thanksgiving Day stuff.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, they start putting Christmas stuff out like in September. It's like, we haven't even had Halloween and Thanksgiving yet, and you're already putting Christmas stuff up.
Hmm.
So, yeah, um, it's crazy. So, yeah, I thought about canceling Rose, but I enjoy spending time with Isaac and the topics we talk about. So, yeah, I'm not gonna cancel unless I'm at death's door. I did have to cancel on Sylvia for a practice session we were doing for mediumship, and it's just because it was like, yeah, I'm not, I can't, I can't pull crap out of my head today. It ain't gonna happen. I can barely think. So, hi, Mother Nature. Hi, Marine. Uh,
Yes. Hello.
so, anyway, so that's what we're going to talk about. I'm trying to let a few more people get in here
Hmm.
before we get started. Next episode is on the 27th.
Hmm.
That's the same day as my Halloween party. And so that'll be fun. We'll do this and then we'll roll over into the Halloween party a couple of hours later. It ought to give me just enough time to go put my costume and my makeup and my wigs on and stuff. So we'll see what happens, and it ought to be fun. And then, excuse me, and on the next episode here, we're going to talk about how to vet doctors when looking to change providers.
Hmm.
That can be a really tough one. So we're going to talk about that next time. That'll be our topic.
Hmm.
And then I'm out of ideas after that. So I will let y'all think up some stuff and throw some things at us for possible future topics in November and December. And who knows, we may end up revisiting this topic of the
Hmm.
holiday craziness when we
Yes.
get to December because everybody's going to be going crazy. So, hi,
Yeah.
Barbara. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Barbara. I appreciate it. Yeah, I did the hot tea and the lemon and the honey, and I've done all the stuff, and it's all allergies, sinuses draining down the back of my throat. They make my throat
Yeah.
sore and dry, and it's just
Hmm.
when it flares up, it flares up. It's like, oh well, whatever. So
Yeah.
um, so what do you want to start with, Isaac? How do you want to start off?
I,
See, we do
I'm,
this by the seat of our pants. We don't really
well,
plan anything.
yeah, this one for sure, because everybody probably has some of their own things around the
Yeah.
holidays, especially like visiting family, or office parties or gatherings. How are you going to handle that? uh excuse me. Now my voice is going, but I was drinking lemonade and it's really tart, so
He's been
that
working outside all day
I,
building a new porch and walkways. So
yeah, a covering for my walkway.
yeah.
Well, anyway, uh I think for me it's always good to sort of like have a plan, and probably my plan has been the same for the past 10, 15 years. uh, as little interaction as possible, that's what I like to go with. And if I have to go to like a party at work or something like that, it's like I know when I'm gonna run out of energy, so I try
Yeah,
to just maintain for a certain period of time. If there's any eating, I I eat foods that are easy to eat, and
yeah.
like it's almost like for me, it's almost like a performance. It's like I'm just
Y-
and to get it over with.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, a performance. Um,
Now, some gatherings I go to, it's like it's fun, but some if I have
yeah,
to go to, and you have like
it's
supervised
a burden.
over there, it's it's for show for me. Mhm.
Exactly. Well, I know. I mean, Halloween. We just always had fun with Halloween, but it wasn't like a big to do.
Mhm.
When Louis was little, it was always this mad rush of trying to get a costume put together for him.
Yeah.
Um, and usually my mother was the one that would show up in the pinch because she'd make him something just out of the blue. And I think one of the best costumes she ever made him was he was like 11 or 12, I think. Power Rangers were really big. That was
Mhm.
like the main children's TV show that was on, and they had just introduced the character of the Green Ranger, and so
Mhm.
all the kids were going nuts over the Green Ranger. And my mother made him a green Power Ranger suit,
Wow.
and she had to make it out of felt to get the right texture to, with the gold lame on it and all this stuff. And turned out that particular Halloween, we had a hot thing come down from wherever,
Mhm.
and it was like 90 freaking degrees at eight
Mhm.
o'clock at night on
Mhm.
Halloween night.
Mhm.
That poor child's trying to walk around in this felt costume. I felt so bad for him. But we got stopped by every parent that walked by us. Where did you get that costume? It's like my mother
Really?
made it.
Uh-huh.
It's
Wow.
the patterns at Joann's. Go buy it for next year.
Mhm.
Um, but now Thanksgiving was my mother's holiday. That
Mhm.
was her favorite holiday because there was no religion attached to it. It
Okay.
was just a family get together, and
Mhm.
she would go all out with cooking, like from scratch. Like she would make her own yeast rolls,
Wow.
kneading the dough and putting it to rise. I mean, they were good too. Uh, she had a secret recipe for pecan pie, and she would have to make three: one for my brother, one for my husband, and one for everybody else. That's just because they each would take a pie and be like, "This is mine." And
Wow.
so she had to compensate. Um, I haven't attempted to make her pecan pie yet. I'm kind of nervous to try because it's like I don't want to screw it up, and I've never been very good at making pies.
Really?
And she would do turkey and all the trimmings. It just she really got into Thanksgiving. That was her
Mhm.
holiday.
Mhm.
And so we just all showed up at her house,
Mhm.
And when she got so bad off that she couldn't do the cooking and stuff anymore, that particular Thanksgiving, and she was like, "Well, you're gonna cook, right?" Thinking I'm gonna try, and it didn't come out nearly as good as hers. I mean, it was
Mhm.
edible. Nobody threw it away, but it wasn't anything to rave on about.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this crap. I'm sorry, but this ain't happening." Now I pick up the turkey from Logan's Farms because
Mhm.
it's a honey roasted turkey breast. It's already
Mhm.
cooked. All I gotta do is heat it up.
Yeah.
Everything else comes out of a can or a box. It's
I don't
like
blame you, Sherry.
I
I
am
don't
not
blame
making
you
all
at
that
all.
crap from scratch. I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna do it.
I don't
Uh,
blame you.
It's like that's just not happening. It's not in my wheelhouse. I don't have time for that. I mean, we
Mhm.
get Thanksgiving Day off and then the Friday off, Black Friday. We get
Right.
those 2 days off, so it's a 4-day
Mhm.
weekend.
Mhm.
But we don't get off work until after 5 o'clock on the Wednesday, and so it's like, I get Wednesday nights, I get no sleep because
Mhm.
if I have to actually cook anything,
Right.
I'm starting in the middle of the night so that it's ready for lunchtime on Thursday.
Yeah.
And, so it's like, yeah, I'm cheating as many times as I can around everything. And, because we have to have turkey for Thanksgiving, and Christmas
Mhm.
is roast beef.
Mhm.
My great-grandmother set this tradition.
Mhm.
Thanksgiving was turkey, Christmas is roast beef, Easter is ham, and that's just that. And so I've had the guys ask me, "Well, why don't we do something different?" I'm like, "No, no, that's the one tradition that we have that's been passed down for how many
Right.
generations. We're
Right.
having turkey, beef, and ham, and that's the way it
Right.
goes." So,
Oh.
but I have the joy of the crock pot, so the roast goes into the crock pot, like, in the middle of the night, Christmas Eve night, and,
Mhm.
by the time we get ready to eat Christmas Day, it's literally falling apart in the pot,
Mhm.
and, again, everything comes out of a box or a can except maybe
Mhm.
potatoes. I will peel and cook my own potatoes
Mhm.
to make mashed potatoes, but,
Wow.
other than that, that's the extent of my cooking. I don't like to cook. I'm okay at it. I'm a fairly good cook, but I
Uh-huh.
just don't like to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, no. Um, and then other than that, that's we don't really most of my family's dead. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's like the ones that we always kind of kept up with and would go visit with and stuff for the holidays, they've all passed. They're all
Uh-huh.
gone,
Yeah.
with the exception of a couple of cousins that I've kept up with.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a whole slew of other family members that I just lost track of after the age of 15. I don't know where they are, and
That's
I don't really
funny.
care. So, I had nothing in common with them. I have my own family that I've created. So,
Right.
um, it's me, my brother, my nephew, my son, and
Mhm.
maybe a couple of friends that we'll invite over.
Mhm.
Any new faculty that don't have any
Mhm.
family here, I've always invited them over for Thanksgiving dinner just
Mhm.
so they have somewhere to go on the holiday. Most of them don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so they really don't understand what we're doing. But, they enjoy being able to come over and eat and just hang out and not
Yeah.
be
Mhm.
in a work environment.
Mhm.
And, um, that's about it.
Mhm.
I don't really buy gifts anymore.
Mhm.
I mean, we bought gifts, like, when my nephew was younger, but he's
Mhm.
getting ready to turn 19. It's like he's got a job. He can buy his own shit. He doesn't need me to buy him anything. If I buy gifts for anybody, it's usually like a gag gift or something,
Uh-huh.
or just something that catches my eye during the year that I'm like, "Oh,
Mm.
that would be a cool gift to give someone." And
Yeah.
then I'll buy it and I'll stash it and then hope I remember where I put it when Christmas comes around.
Mhm.
Because I have done that before. Bought stuff and then hid it and then couldn't find it when it was time to wrap it. So my Christmas tree is still up from last year. I never took it down. I took the ornaments off, but it's still sitting out. So all I gotta do is put the ornaments back on and we're ready to
Wow.
go.
I hear you.
Um, I
I
just
like your idea of the holidays, Sherry. Easy peasy. Don't get all
yeah,
stressed out. I
no,
love it.
no, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I used to get
Uh-uh.
all like wound up and you gotta get this, that, and go here and
Mhm.
do the whatever. And it's like, you know what?
Mhm.
Yes, it's not worth it. It's not
Maureen
worth my
says
peace of
she,
mind.
takes her family to Thanksgiving brunch,
There you
which I
go.
think is a great idea.
Absolutely. Go out to eat if you can.
Right.
There are
Right.
restaurants that will
Mhm.
specialize in Thanksgiving meals or Christmas meals where it's like
Mm-hmm.
all the trimmings to go
Right.
with it. You know, it's
Right.
like, why knock yourself out in a hot kitchen that
Mm-hmm.
you're ready to drop dead by the time you get
Right.
everything on the table, to have people bitch that this is cold or this is too hot or this is too tough or this is like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. You know, if you got to complain, don't bother coming back next year because you're going to get what you get. A couple of years back, I went to go pick up the turkey at Logan's farm
Mm-hmm.
the day before Thanksgiving because I run over on my lunch break and I'll go
Mm-hmm.
get one. And I went to go pick it up and they're like, we don't have any more. And I'm like, what? They're like, we're out. I said, you're out of turkey the day before Thanksgiving. They're like, yeah, we're completely out. We've been out for a week. She says, and we keep waiting for more to come in and they haven't sent us any more for us to cook and get ready. She says, so we're totally out. So I had to go like that Wednesday night, I had to go to the grocery store and fight all the panic people who were suddenly stuck with making a Thanksgiving dinner and didn't know how.
Wow.
Looking at these huge, gigantic turkeys that get left in the freezer departments over in the meat department, thinking, I'm not cooking a 30-pound turkey. I'm just not doing that. You know, it's like
Right.
it will rot before it gets all eaten. So,
Right.
and I found something halfway decent and brought it home. And of course, you got to try to thaw it out and whatnot. And the next day, when it was finally to the point where I could stick it in the oven and start cooking it, I started thinking about, I wonder how many people even know how to do a turkey
Mm-hmm.
for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I whipped out my phone and I did up a whole video series of making the turkey and how to make the mashed potatoes and, how to do this and how to do that. And I got a lot of comments back on it. Everybody said, oh, I always wondered how they did that. That's so cool. And so I said, might as well be useful while I'm at it, right?
Right.
But
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't buy gifts anymore except for gag gifts, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody works, everybody has a job. If you want something, go buy something. You don't need me to give you something.
Right.
But
I think too that's the way people can avoid like the holiday blues if they're just practical and have plans. Because sometimes you don't have, sometimes there's things come up, you may not have the funds to give gifts, and just let people know I'm not giving gifts this year and whatever. That's what
I
I
like
think.
Barbara's idea. The only thing I make is reservations.
Yes. Yes.
It's a big thumbs up in my department.
Uh-huh.
I would say probably the hardest or the most difficult thing for the holidays, especially if you have people coming to your house. If you have pets, make sure that they are put into another area out in the yard if it's warm enough for them to stay outside. But make sure your pets are not right there underfoot when all these people start showing up, because your pets get freaked out and it stresses them. And so, and you'll see a lot of bathroom accidents. You'll see pets that normally are very lovely, pleasant pets will suddenly start growling and barking and snapping at people, or, they figure out, oh, let's go sit by the little kids. They will give me food off their plate if I sit here and stare at them long enough, and then they eat the wrong foods. So, I just, it's like, make sure your pets and your kids are dealt with. It sounds so bad. Yeah, put your kids off in the backyard or something. Get the kids out of the
way. No,
just
that's
joking,
the pets,
YouTube. Just joking. That's not for real.
The
That's
pets,
a joke.
not the kids.
But saying that, that's probably one of the best ideas anybody can ever have. Just go lock the kids up in the back room, let them fight it out amongst themselves. I have been to family events where like all the kids get ushered down into a game room or into a spare bedroom or something. And the door gets shut and it's like, don't come out till we tell you it's time to eat. And you just duke it out and things aren't going well. What can I say? For a family that claimed to be very passive, we had a bunch of them kids when we were all growing up willing to throw a punch at the
Really?
first hard look.
Mhm.
Uh, so it's all that Irish blood in us. We're always ready to fight. But I like Marine's thing. I'm all for keeping my dog in the house and the family in the backyard. Yeah, you're right. And I have been to people's, when I lived in Phoenix, I guess it was, I don't know, I'd been there about 6 or 7 years, and one of the girls that I worked with um, was Hispanic, and their Thanksgiving was a little different traditional wise as to just Euro Americans, what they served and what they did. And she asked me one year, she says, "Well, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?" I'm probably going to order a pizza or something and just kick back and watch a movie. I'm not planning anything. She said, "Oh, well, come to the house, And so I get over to her house Thanksgiving Day, and I'm like the only white person there, So 80% of the people in the family didn't speak English, so they're all like jabbering away at me at 90 miles an hour in Spanish, and I don't know what the hell they're saying. And I kept losing I had a 4-year-old that was acting as my interpreter, and then at one point he disappeared, and I was like, okay, my interpreter's gone. But I had a good time. I wound up having a ball, because everybody was so fun and friendly and lovely. Nobody was ugly or anything, but it was just weird because it was like I didn't understand what anybody was saying. And every now and again, I'd know they were talking about me and then they'd laugh, and then you're like, okay, what are you saying about me that's so funny? And you don't know what they're saying. And I think that's when the 4-year-old disappeared. I think she didn't want to have to get in the middle of it anymore. But, um, but I laughed. That was a lot of fun. And I did that several years in a row. I would just go to her house for Thanksgiving because she couldn't stand the thought of me spending Thanksgiving alone. It's like, it's no biggie off of my nose. I don't care.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, as a kid, we all went to my great grandmother's. It was like pack up the car full of food, full of this, full of that, full of the other, drive to, one city over, 2 cities over actually, and spend the day and then pack everything back in the car and go back home. I know as a kid, I was exhausted. I'd hate to think how my mom and them felt. They must have been dragging. Hi, Denise. Hi, Karen. And so, who did you offend, Rose? I don't know of anybody being offended. Oh, you're talking about in the family. Yeah. I mean, I have very conservative cousins that I still keep up with that don't live that far really. And I always invite them. If they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. And I don't worry about it. Um, but if they do come, the first thing I do is say, we're not talking politics today. Just leave it at the door. We're not going to go there because you and I have thoroughly different opinions on how things should be done. So let's just not go there. And let's just have a pleasant day. And so far that seems to work. But
I hear that a lot of that is going on in families.
Of what? Just
The
telling folks.
political standoffs
Oh
at
yeah,
get-togethers.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not worth it. I forgot to change my name. I just realized I looked over and I saw yours and I went, oh, I forgot to change
Who
mine.
is that?
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Y'all gonna
Yes.
laugh.
There
Okay,
you
there
go.
we are. Lady and sir.
There you go.
We've been knighted and crowned by the throne that doesn't know we exist. So
Right.
that's okay.
Right.
Ever get anybody British in here, they're gonna be like, how did you become a lady and a sir? We just decided that's what we were gonna call ourselves. Somebody started calling
Well,
us that in chat, wasn't it?
huh? Yeah.
Somebody started calling us that in chat. That's what
Yeah.
started it. So
Yeah. Well, hey, this is America. You can be what you want to be.
that's right.
At least for now. Let's hope it
We
stay
get the
that way.
right person in office, we can keep doing what we want to do
Right.
and have the law back us up on it. But
I know, right? You
if
can be
the
what
other
you want
one
to be.
wins, there's going to be a bunch of us running for the hills to get the hell out of Dodge because we're going to have a big old target on our back going, there's one right there. And I told Marina, I said, you're gonna have more relatives show up that you ever knew you had. Most of them are going to be Americans saying, oh yeah, no, I'm her relative. I'm going to Canada to visit you. Either that or take off to Mexico. If they let us in, they might close the borders on us. Who
Oh,
knows?
that would
It won't be them
wow.
trying to come in. It'll be us trying to get out. So
Yeah.
don't I would say the big thing that I try to emphasize with people, especially as we get closer to Christmas, don't put yourself in debt for Christmas
Mm-hmm.
gifts. I mean, if you only have one child, then yeah, you're gonna probably buy more than one gift for that one
Mm-hmm.
kid
Mm-hmm.
because you can afford it. But if you have
Mm-hmm.
more than one kid, I mean, it was like we would get one major gift
Mm-hmm.
growing up that usually my mom and my grandparents would, get together on.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it was stuff for me and my brother each,
Mm-hmm.
to share.
Mm-hmm.
Like a trampoline one year, uh,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. Um, but everything else was just little, you know, cheapy crap you could buy at Walmart or Kmart. Well, Kmart back then, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was a Walmart back then. Um, and I mean, I know when my son was little, 90% of his Christmas gifts came from the dollar store. Just because
Mm-hmm.
we couldn't afford it, we couldn't even afford Walmart. It was like that's too
Mm-hmm.
much.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see people that like max out their credit cards to buy stuff for
Right.
their kids and
Uh-huh.
borrow tons of money from the bank, and then after the holidays are over, they got to pay all them bills. It's like, holy
Right.
crap, man, are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. That's not
it's
practical.
just no, it's not, and it just creates more stress on yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
I know.
It
Go ahead.
it's almost like you'll be happy, I guess. You'll be happy for that day. But it's almost like you know that you've set yourself up for stress throughout the year trying to pay off credit cards. Yeah, I think people should think more about what's going on.
Like
Yeah.
Rose, what's a credit card?
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about credit cards. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I make cookies for Christmas. Maureen says. Now I make uh, the Christmas cookies, the sugar cookies with icing on them. But I make those for my kids at school, my student workers.
Mhm.
And then when they come back from Thanksgiving break, they each get a baggie full of goodies that I've baked over the 4-day weekend.
Okay.
that I make from scratch for them. They get a big kick out of that because they
Oh,
all make
that's
these
nice.
homemade cookies.
That's
And
nice.
but it's getting to where even that's starting to get too expensive to do because it's
Mhm.
all the stuff, to decorate and everything on it.
Mhm.
Prices keep going up on that. And it's like, man, it's kind of expensive to have to buy cookie icing, and sprinkles, and decorations. And uh, I mean, every year I say I'm not going to do it again, but every year I wind up doing it for them anyway because they enjoy it. So
Mhm.
they turn into little kids, and I bring them their bag of goodies. We got
Uh-huh.
a present. So because they usually only have 1 to 2 weeks left after Thanksgiving break, our
Right.
semester's over.
That's true.
It's and because campus shuts down Christmas week and New Year's week, so we get 2 weeks off.
Mhm.
Only job I ever had where I actually got Christmas off, and it didn't cost me money to not work. They pay you for that, it's part
Right.
of our holiday package we get. Um, but hi, Miss Tarot D, and but I'm trying to think of other things we've done. I've talked about pets. Don't go into debt.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got extra money to spend on a fancy gift for someone, okay, do it, but don't put yourself in debt for it.
Right.
Um, oh no, Miss Tarot D, yeah, you got to go in like once a month or once every other month and check all your subscriptions and make sure you're still subscribed.
Mm.
I got unsubscribed on Marina's channel, and I was actually on a show. I wasn't a guest. I was just in the chat. She was doing a live stream. Now, I'm one of her moderators. I'm also a paying member to her channel. And I noticed that I was no longer subscribed. And I was like, well, now how do you unsubscribe somebody who's a moderator and a member of that channel? There's a disconnect there, but it's all the
Mhm.
algorithm that
Mhm.
just, I don't know. I don't understand their algorithm. It comes up with some weird stuff. Oh, Maureen, that sounds good. And Miss Tarot D is saying hello to us. Hello, my love.
Mr. O.D.
Uh, I told her, I said, I'm going to have, okay, have a good day. Good evening, whatever he's leaving for. Sorry, I leaned forward to tell him through the crack of the curtain, and I realized my mouth was right on top of the microphone. It's not just my throat that's sore; my brain is not working either.
This is
I
the
got
day. This really is the
remonetized,
day.
y'all, and so it's like people can now do super chats and whatnot. So that's like yay! And I got my membership thing. I was hoping to roll it out this weekend, but I guess it takes a couple of days for them to check all your stuff and make sure everything's up and up. Thank you, Rose. Welcome back from the time out of the corner. Yes, I'm no longer in what do they call it?
YouTube
When they
jail.
to the corner. When they say jail is what it feels like. Um and and so as soon as they finish clearing
Hi,
everything
J
on my
Cat Lady.
memberships, I'm gonna roll that out. So probably this week sometime. I'm waiting on them on YouTube. And I checked this morning when I got up just to see where I was at, and I made 3,000. Yay! I have 3,000 subscribers now. So
Congratulations.
that was a big push I was trying to make. Now it's on to 4, maybe 5.
Mhm.
My original goal was 5,000 by the new year, but I think I might have kind of overshot myself a little bit with that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Never know.
Demonetization. Oh, time out. Yeah, I was putting time out. That's what it was. And so since I'm having the Halloween party in 2 weeks, it's also going to be I hit 3,000 subscribers celebration on top of it. So
Yes.
and y'all are going to like it because I've had a bunch of people are coming on. Yeah, a lot of them are only going to be on for 10 or 15 minutes, and then they're going to leave so the next person can come on. So we'll be rolling people on and off. But just about everybody has offered something to use for a giveaway. So we're going to have all kinds of goodies that we're going to be giving away on the Halloween party. And so make sure you're there so you can win. And it's October 27th, 2 Sundays from now.
Okay.
And the Halloween party will start at 6 Central, 6 p.m. Central. And so Isaac and I will be on for Mastering Mental Wellness, and then we'll wrap up, and then that should give me just enough time to go finish my costume and get everything together to be on for that night. And it's going to be fun. So that's the whole point. I just want to be able to give back to everybody because y'all have been so supportive and so nice. And so I thought, let's have a party and everybody can have fun, and get some good stuff. And I've had a lot of people offer a lot of really cool gifts for giveaways. So that's nice.
Good.
Isaac will be there maybe for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But he'll be on, and Miss Tarot D will be there. I told her to talk about stress. Now I'm going to be in competition with the drag queen, and I got to try to look better than that. He's got the clothes. I don't. So, but I was teasing him about it. But I'm looking forward to it. So I'm trying to think. I'm just rambling. I'm trying to think of anything else.
I don't know.
For holiday blues. Don't watch any sad movies. Watch happy holiday movies, Watch Die Hard. That's a great holiday movie. My son and I watch Die Hard together every Christmas Eve. That's our tradition. Yeah. We get together with an adult beverage and we go kick back in his room because he's got the surround sound and everything. And we watch Die Hard. And that's our Christmas on Christmas Eve. That's our standing date, Christmas Eve, as we watch Die Hard, because we both firmly believe that, yes, that's a Christmas movie. Takes place at Christmas time. There's Christmas trees and Santa Claus and Christmas music. That makes it a Christmas music movie. Yeah. Hi, Chris. Think of good music, listen to good music. There's some really great Christmas music. And God's sakes, don't play Mariah Carey's song ad nauseum, because it's like, that's the only thing I dread about going into the stores at the holidays. I'm going to hear that damn song every store I go into, played over and over and over again. And it's a great song, and she has a beautiful voice. Once is enough. I don't need it to be repeated 50 times in the 30 minutes that I'm in the grocery store. It's like, give me play something else. Play Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. That's a great song. It's hilarious, but it's great. And there's all kinds of fun songs you can do at Christmas time. I never got into that. A Christmas Story with the little boy with the BB gun that wanted the BB gun, stuck his
Mhm.
tongue to the flagpole or something like
I
that.
remember that. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I never I think I watched it once or twice, and I just didn't get into it. Hi, Songtion. Um, I, uh oh my goodness, Miss Tarot D. YouTube unsubscribed him from everybody.
Wow.
Why? Are they saying you don't exist anymore? I mean, heaven forbid. Well, that's a pain in the ass. Now you got to go back and you got to resubscribe to everybody. Well, at least it's an easy click of the button. The hard part is going to each channel, having to look everybody up. Hi,
Mhm.
Barbara. Uh, hi, Joy. Uh, but I love Christmas music, but I don't want to hear it playing the day after Halloween. A lot of radio stations do that now. It's like Halloween gets through, and then on November 1st, they're playing Christmas music 24/7 on the radio station. It's like, no, maybe one or two songs a day, but geez, give us a break.
Mhm.
They make you
Mhm.
so sick of Christmas that by the time it gets here, you're like, whatever, just end the madness.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, you're right, Rose. I've been doing that. I've been trying to do that since my throat started getting weird. Uh, and of course, I'm all clogged up. I can't breathe. I can't smell
Mhm.
anything. I probably sound like I'm talking through a tunnel.
Mhm.
um, anything else you can think of, Isaac? That's good advice for avoiding
Mhm.
the silly season.
Be careful of self-talk. Uh, that's what I would say. Not And what I
Okay.
mean by that is telling yourself, "I'm gonna be alone, it's gonna be so sad," and I think we create our sadness that way. I think we should have a plan instead of and I'll go with Abraham, instead of talking about what we don't want, talk about what we want.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Um, and don't try to outspend somebody, just
Mm-mm.
because your brother or sister or cousin or neighbor or whatever spends a bloody fortune on something for
Mhm.
their kids doesn't mean you should spend the same thing on your kids because
Right.
maybe they have the money put aside and you don't. Just like
Mhm.
just don't go charging yourself up until you max out your credit card for Christmas.
Mhm.
Uh, if you can't pay for it, don't buy it. That's always been my motto with Christmas. If I don't have the cash in hand to pay for it, then I'm not buying it. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I've got some local honey, Marine.
Okay.
My insurance agent actually has bees, and they make their own honey.
Wow.
They don't sell it in the stores. He just gives it away to all his clients. So when you go into the office for anything, you get a bottle of honey,
Mhm.
which is kind of cool because local honey is the best honey to use because it's got all the natural immunities to your area in it. Because the
Oh.
bees are all following, they're all going from pollen, flower to flower for the pollen in
Mhm.
your area. They're not flying to New York to get pollinated up there and come back. They're doing it locally. And so all the natural immunities for local stuff that you would have an allergy to is going to be in that honey
Mhm.
that you buy that's a local honey to buy. So that's something to keep in mind.
Mhm.
Um, and I have a feeling this holiday season is going to be really rough on a lot of people because of the political nonsense.
Yeah.
Um, and it whatever direction it ends up in, I mean, I firmly believe it's going to end up with Kamala Harris winning. Thank
Mm-hmm.
God. I mean, that's everything that spirit guides keep showing me is that, yeah, she wins by a landslide.
Mm-hmm.
But there's going to be a lot of people very upset that their guy didn't win.
Yeah.
And so we need to kind of keep that in mind so that we can kind of be prepared for their
Mm-hmm.
reaction to losing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. Have a plan.
Yeah.
Have a plan.
Yeah. And if he wins, make sure your shit's packed and you're ready to go. Because
A go
I'm
bag
telling you,
share. A go bag.
yeah, get you a go bag, ready to go. Live like a fugitive. Figure out what border you're gonna bust over and go for it.
Yeah.
I'm closer to Mexico, so it'd probably be easier for me to head south. But I got friends that are in Canada, so but I'd have to
Right.
go through the whole country to get there. And it's like, and it gets cold there, like
Mm-hmm.
really cold. And I don't have the clothes for that. I can deal with the heat, but I don't know if I can deal with feet of snow. It's just a little much. Isaac, y'all don't get snow in your part of Mississippi, huh?
It's rare. If we get
Yeah.
snow, everything stops.
Yeah, it's like us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a rare thing. We don't get it
Mm-hmm.
often. And it
Mm-hmm.
usually never even hits the ground. It usually melts before it
Yeah.
even gets to the ground.
Yeah.
Or it just turns into sleet, and then you got ice everywhere. But I can't imagine living somewhere where you have to literally dig out to get out of your house or to get into your car. It's like, that's a little hard for me to fathom because I've never been there. I've seen pictures, I've seen videos, but
Uh-huh.
I've never experienced it. Don't know if I want to, but
Mm-hmm. I lived in
my son.
Spokane, Washington for a while when I was in the Air Force. And when I got there, it was like snow everywhere.
Oh
And
my God.
we were in transportation. So I'm thinking, what are we gonna do? Snow is everywhere. I'm thinking from where I came from. We got
Right.
there, they started putting chains on tires. They did not stop. And
Wow.
the streets were clear all the time because they would, sand and salt the streets, the snow plows,
Yeah.
but the snow would just be on the side of the roads. It was an experience.
Yeah. I know when my son joined the Navy, when he left for basic training, it was in March.
Mm-hmm.
Basic training is in Great Lakes, Michigan, which is just outside of Chicago.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when he was finally able to call home after the first few weeks, they're not allowed to contact anybody. They got to completely deprogram you before they let you call home.
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't know it could be this cold anywhere. Like, and we got heavy pea coats that we wear. He's like, and oh my God, I'm freezing to death. And I went for his graduation in May. It was 110 degrees in Phoenix when I left at the airport. And when I got to Chicago, it was like walking into a deep freezer. It was like 30 degrees, and I didn't have a coat. I didn't have a sweater, nothing. It was like, I'm thinking it's May. Of course it's going to be warm. Little did I know. Yeah, I like to froze my butt off. It was cold up there because you got all that wind that comes in off the lake. You get lake effect snow and you get lake effect weather there, and because their lakes are so big, they look like an ocean from the shoreline. which that again is something else I just can't conceive. A lake being that big that you think you're looking at an ocean. I mean, the ocean I can get. I've been to the Pacific coast, the Atlantic coast, and the Gulf Coast.
Mhm.
I've seen all three major oceans that surround the country, and I've seen lakes and rivers, but I've nothing like what's up there. It's like that's
Mhm.
just wild.
Mhm.
Uh, oh wow, Joy, really? She's talking about
Mm. Yeah.
she's in Ohio.
Mhm.
People are picking tomatoes in mid-October and spring
Wow.
flowers are blooming. That's
Oh,
us. We
wow.
had like a week and a half of cool weather. Which meant it got down
Mhm.
into the 80s.
Mhm.
And it was rather pleasant. And everything started to bloom. And then it got hot again. And so now it's back
Mhm.
up in the 90s, and which is not fun.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, when it snows down here, everything shuts down because don't nobody know how to deal with it.
Uh-uh.
They don't know how to drive in it. They don't know how to deal with it. We don't have the infrastructure for that.
Mm-mm.
And God forbid, I hope we don't get hit with a deep freeze like Texas did. Was it last year, year before last?
Mhm.
I can't imagine.
Right.
That
Right.
was just, I mean, there were people that were dying in their homes because they were freezing to death. That's
Mhm.
just crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Sad.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we've been at this for 52 minutes. My voice is just about done. Uh, anything else you can think of to go
No.
along with the topic?
Mm-mm. I'm running on fumes too.
Yeah, we both of
I
us.
did too. I did too much today.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. I did too much over the weekend.
Mhm.
Um, we'll be back on October 27th for episode 17, where our topic will be how to vet doctors when looking to change providers. That's always a fun game to play.
Yes.
Talk about make people stress out. That'll do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and as far as topics for November, I don't know. We're out of ideas. I think Isaac and I listed up everything we could think of. So
Mhm.
now it's up to y'all. We're just gonna either that or we're gonna revisit some stuff that was real popular
Yes.
before.
Mhm.
So I was kind
Mhm.
of thinking that kind of use November and December as a recap from previous shows that we did.
That sounds good.
Um, so that way everybody can kind of get reminded because we've gone into some pretty sticky territory on a few shows, but
Mhm.
we got a lot out of it because the chat really got into it and started
Mhm.
talking to each other and talking to us and sharing things. And
Right.
that's the
Right.
whole point of this is
Mhm.
not so we can stand up here and go, oh, we're
Mhm.
great, we're fabulous, we're going to tell you what to do to feel perfect. No, we're just
Mhm.
here to point out an obvious issue that most people deal with and what are some basic ways to deal with it.
Right.
Um, Me, it's strictly layman's terms, old wives' tales, stuff I've learned over the years. Isaac's the professional counselor, so he kind of knows what he's talking about, um, which is why I tend to defer to him when we get into anything technical, because that's his ball game, not mine. Um,
We're a good team, Sherry.
yes, we are. It helps that we're friends too.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get my car, I'm driving to Mississippi to go visit him for real. So
Sounds good.
I'll get to check out his new cover on his walkway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'll do a live stream actually together, sitting side by side to do a live stream. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a good topic, Maureen. I like that. We can maybe bring that up in November.
Yes. I
How
love that.
domestic violence goes up during the holidays. That's an excellent, excellent subject.
And joy too, finding a good counselor. We could talk about that one day.
Absolutely. Here's my little notepad. I want to write it down. Let's see. Domestic violence. During the holidays. See, y'all are so smart. That's why we ask you. Y'all come up with great ideas. And then Joy had finding a good counselor. Not just finding a good counselor, but finding an appropriate counselor. I think because whether if you get help or not, it's going to depend on who you're seeing and if they're resonating with you. Yeah, and it's hard to find a good counselor that you can trust. You're right. You know, some people go to counselors who are very in your face, don't take any BS. They just push you to the limit. Because the people that go to them normally, that's the kind of personality they need to help them. There are other counselors that you would go to and they, pat your hand and oh, poor is you. And well, we can do this and we can meditate here and we can do that. And while that's all wonderful, for somebody that needs that hard push, it's not going to do them any good. But there are some people that are so fragile that that's what they need is someone that's going to hold their hand and baby talk them, so to speak. Hey, Sheila, welcome. You're catching us as we're wrapping up. So I like those two ideas, y'all. If you come up with any more, just shoot me a message. Put it in the comments below after the show's over. And I'll write them down and show them to Isaac, and we'll go from there. Like I said, next episode on the 27th is how to vet doctors when looking to change providers. And that's even harder during the holiday season.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of them that want to get the hell out of here and go on vacation. Get out of the cold and go to Cancun like Senator Cruz does. Leave the dog behind in the cold, but we're going to be warm in Cabo San Lucas or wherever the hell it was. You see what Karen put? Last counselor I was seeing, I felt like he should be paying me. Yeah.
That's so sad.
And how many times have we had that happen? Yes, Joy, you're right. Insurance does create a lot of challenges for medical help of any kind.
Right.
And when it's not the insurance company trying to get between you and your doctor, now we got to worry about the government getting between you and your doctor. So, yeah, it's just getting ridiculous. Making sure I haven't missed any suggestions.
Okay.
But absolutely, J Cat Lady.
Yes.
She's got a sick kitty cat, y'all. So y'all need to send her lots of Reiki and healing to her cat, to J Cat Lady's cat, Sam. Because they're very vulnerable this time of year. That's it. Now I'm going to yawn.
We didn't see you because you had the post up.
Oh, good. Okay, I'll take it down. I tend to lean on the desk when I'm talking just because it's easier on my back, and then I get people that fuss at me and say, sit up straight. Okay, but it's when I sit up straight, it's painful. And I have a fancy chair that my son bought me to sit in, and it still is painful. That I can't see what the hell I'm looking at. I just got a low battery signal in my ear. It scared the crap out of me. I wasn't expecting another voice. All right, y'all. I'm going to say goodbye. We've been an hour and 2 minutes. And I think we just kind of rambled today. We didn't really.
Yeah.
Both of us are too poop to pop, so that was the problem.
Yes.
And I'm working on finishing up, getting my membership all set up. So that should be rolling out this week. So keep your eyes open. And tomorrow night, Draining the Swamp with Mel and Arthur. It's my political show I do. And Wednesday is, yes, I know it's a low battery. Wednesday night is Sisters of the Mystical Tarot, but I will not be on with them Wednesday night. I'm going to be a guest on Michelle Marie's channel, the Astrological Tarot. So catch me over there. I posted it in my comments, in my
community page.
Community tab. Thank you. I went blank. And Thursday, this Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. Central, I am joining Colleen, the Cool Crone, on her channel. We're going to do a special meditation and prayer for everybody that's been affected by the last 2 hurricanes. Especially those in areas. Okay. Especially those that don't normally get hurricane weather, like up in North Carolina and Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's not common for them. Been a lot of damage up there as well. So, hi, Viviani. So I guess we'll say goodbye for now before I completely lose my voice. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Anything else?
Nothing else. Just self-care. Take care of yourself.
That's it. If y'all think of any other topics you want us to talk about, shoot me an email, put it in the comments, something so that I can find it.